welcome back to another Blu-ray collection update / Blu-ray haul video. Of course, as you might know, I've just spent the last 16 months over in the UK. Unfortunately, in that time, I wasn't able to do any Blu-ray update, Blu-ray haul, Blu-ray collection videos, but that doesn't mean the collection hasn't kept growing. Of course, old mate Rick has been back here in Australia, hauling up big at JB Hi-Fi sales, while I was over in the UK buying stuff over there as well, growing the collection from the other side of the world. Just before I went over to the UK, actually, Amazon UK stopped taking orders from Australian customers, which has meant it's been a little bit difficult to import items from the UK to Australia. Of course, Zavvi still takes orders, but they only really sell the big major releases. So while I was over in the UK, I took the chance to pick up some titles that I thought might be a little bit harder to import to Australia once I was back home, and a few things that were on sale that I just couldn't pass up for a great price. Now, if you want to check out all the stuff that old mate Rick picked up while he was here in Australia, over the time there's over 150 titles. I did a video on that portion of the collection a couple of days ago. You can check that video out at the end of this video. There'll be a link at the end. But for now, we are actually going to go through all of this stuff in this video, which is all the stuff that I picked up over in the UK. There's not as much stuff here as there is in the other video. It's a fairly modest sized collection. I didn't want to buy too much because as it did turn out, it was a little bit of a hassle carting back all of these Blu-rays back to Australia. But there is a fairly sizable collection of stuff here, and we are going to go through it in this video. There's a lot to get to, so let's get into it. Alright guys, as I said, there's a bunch of stuff here, so we're going to get into this as quickly as we can. Basically, I'm going to go through it title by title. I'm not going to talk about absolutely everything. There will be a few things where I stop and I talk about them, offer a little anecdote or my thoughts on the movie if I've seen it or whatever. They're not exactly in any kind of order of when I bought them, but I have kind of put them into little sections. We've got classic movies, which actually takes up the large bulk of this collection. We've got just general movies, and then we've got some documentary stuff that I picked up over there, and a couple of other random bits and pieces. We've also got this huge chunk here. Whoa, see, it's so huge it's gonna fall over on me. And this is the largest portion of stuff that I got over in the UK, and I'm not going to cover it in this video. This is all Disney stuff, and now whether this is stuff that I actually bought over there, or of course if you've been following my channel, Disney in the US have been sending me review copies of their new releases, and they were sending them to me over in the UK, and I've been reviewing them from over there, doing the unboxings and stuff. So all of this stuff, I'll give you a very brief little look there, and then I'm going to bring it back here, so I'm sure you'll go back, rewind that and pause it or whatever, but all of this stuff here I'm going to put into my next Disney Blu-ray update. It's going to be a huge one, and if you did see my my previous Blu-ray collection update video, you would have seen that there was another stack almost this big of Disney stuff in that as well, and that's all going to be thrown together in a big Disney update that I'm hopefully going to get up over the next week or so. We're going to put them down there. I'm not going to talk about them in this video, and that kind of shortens our workload by about half for today. So again, if you're interested in checking out that Disney stuff, that video will be up in a couple of days' time. First up, let's take a look at sort of the more just general movies that I picked up over in the UK. These are mostly Blu-rays. There's a couple of 4Ks in here as well, but we'll talk about that as we go along. Now this, I believe, is one of the first titles I actually picked up when I went over there. This is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom on 4K and 3D in this awesome steelbook. Now I have the 3D steelbooks of all the other Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movies, so I had to get this. Even though my other Jurassic Park movies in 4K are in that big box set, I just had to have this to go with the other steelbooks that I've got. It's a pretty cool steelbook, even though the movie isn't that great. I did have to buy it. I got this too. This is something that I also probably spent a little bit more than I should have on. This is Elvis Presley The Searcher, but I really wanted to watch this, so I picked it up, and it's in this awesome special edition, slip-covered edition, which I believe comes with a little booklet as well. This has come out in Australia. I think it's got the CD in there as well, so DVD, CD, and Blu-ray. The Australian edition was just a Blu-ray, and I kind of, the big Elvis fan that I am, wanted this special edition collection. This is a really fantastic documentary, and I watched this pretty much as soon as I bought it, so I don't really regret spending as much on it as as I did. It goes for about 3 hours. It was a television thing in 2 parts, but I wanted to marathon the whole thing. I watched them both back to back. A really fantastic doco. As I said, big Elvis fan. I've watched a lot of stuff on Elvis over the years. This is the best doco I've ever watched on him. It's truthful, it's honest, and there's no holds barred? Is that the... No holds barred. I almost said no bars hold. I always get that wrong, but there's no holds barred on this one. It's really great. So if you are an Elvis fan, or really just like a fan of music, I would really, or even 20th century culture, because this is a really fantastic documentary. I highly recommend that. Hologram for the King. This is a Tom Hanks movie from a few years ago, 2016. Never seen it. This was never released here in Australia on Blu-ray. It was released on DVD, but I always want to get a Blu-ray if there is a Blu-ray option out there. Haven't seen it, but I found this on eBay actually for like £3 or £4, so I just had to snap that one up. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. Loving Vincent. This is supposed to be really amazing. This is the life story of Vincent van Gogh. He's an artist who I really admire. I really love his art, and it's animated in the style of his paintings. So each frame of this movie was actually hand painted by artists. It just looks, as it says on the back, absolutely gorgeous, and I really can't wait to watch this. I picked this one up at HMV or FOP during, I think, a Black Friday sale in 2018. It was like £3, so I couldn't pass that one up. That's out here in Australia on Blu-ray, but it's like $30 or $40. It's one of those ones that just never goes down in price. Memoirs of an Invisible Man. Again, I found this quite cheap. I think it was £5 or £6. This came out while I was over there, but I waited for it to drop down in price a little bit. Chevy Chase, Daryl Hannah. This is fantastic. I watched this while I was over there on a weekend where I just wanted to just put a brainless movie on, and I had a lot of fun with this. I thought it was great, really funny, and a really good, thrilling action film from the 90s, directed by John Carpenter, of course. Really good movie. I also picked up The Long Kiss Goodnight. I ordered these both together because they were both quite cheap at the time, and this is another one that I've been wanting to see for years and years. Finally managed to pick it up on Blu-ray. Not available on Blu-ray here in Australia, and man, this movie was awesome as well. Probably at the very top of my favorite 90s action thrillers already, after immediately having seen it. Really love this. I would highly recommend if you can get your hands on it. More newer films I got over there. I picked up Venom on 4K. Venom is available here in 4K, but I wanted it in a slipcover. All my Marvel Cinematic Universe movies are in slipcovers. Now, I know Venom isn't part of the MCU. It's part of the Sony Spider-Verse, but because of the Spidey deal with Marvel and Sony at the moment, it looks like there's going to be like this kind of crossover of the two universes. Sony's really gonna start trying to put Spider-Man into their side of things and really just kind of start mixing everything together. It's gonna be a little bit confusing, but because of that, because of the connection, I wanted this in a slipcover to go with my MCU collection for when these connections do start happening and there is like a cross-contamination of the universes. So I'm future-proofing with that collection right there. Also picked up A Star Is Born. This came out while I was over there in 2018. We saw this in cinemas, absolutely loved it. This is probably my favorite movie of 2018, and it's probably one of my favorite. It is one of my favorite movies of the last decade, easily. Had to buy it over there in this beautiful slipcover. It is available here in Australia, but slipless, and I love this movie so much. I wanted like a really nice edition of it. Now, there's a few titles here that I actually imported from the US. I picked up Hook on 4K and Superman the Movie on 4K. I bought these both on Amazon because I had an Amazon commission. When you guys buy stuff from my Amazon links, when I do my unboxing videos or I do my announced and detailed videos, when you guys go and you buy titles through the Amazon affiliate links I post, I get a very small, like less than 5% commission, and occasionally it's enough to buy a couple of things. Now, I bought these from Amazon US because I had enough commission to cover both of them. At the time when I bought them, Amazon US weren't shipping to Amazon Australia, so I thought while I'm in the UK, I might as well order stuff and get it shipped there and then bring it home. And then like a month later, they actually did start taking orders from Australian customers again. So you can, in Australia, buy stuff from Amazon.com, Amazon US again, if you didn't know that. So I actually would have saved a bit more because I paid like import rates and everything to get these to the UK, but I don't really care. I wasn't out of pocket. It was with the commissions again, and I really wanted these in the the slipcovers. So I got them, and then there's a few smaller titles here. We've got Johnny English Strikes Again, we got Fighting with My Family, and Green Book on 4K. All three of these titles are US editions that I was sent from a PR agency that I deal with a lot for my unboxing videos and stuff. They sent me these to do unboxing videos, and they sent them to me in the UK so I could actually do them, and now I've brought them home. From the US to the UK to Australia with those ones. Next up, we've got a very small collection of documentaries here. You guys will all know that I absolutely love my wildlife docos, my natural history documentaries, and I took the opportunity while I was over there to pick up a few things that I've been wanting to get for a while, and also a few things that were released while I was over there. First up, we'll take a look at some of the older stuff that I picked up. Firstly, Earth the box set. Now this is a BBC documentary series from like 2008, 2010. Actually, it's two series in one. How the Earth, how that Earth made us, and Earth, the Power of the Planet. They're both presented by Ian Stewart. I think they were made in 2008, 2010. I don't know too much about Ian Stewart. I'm not very familiar with his work, and I've got a lot of documentaries that are similar to this, so this is just something that I just kept putting off and kept putting off because it was on the more expensive side of things. Never released in Australia on Blu-ray, only ever on DVD, so I was kind of just waiting for the right price point to import it. Found it on eBay for about £5, and I thought, that's the right price for me. I finally picked this one up, even for just completer's sake, to add it to my BBC collection. I'm interested in taking a look at that, but I'm not too sure how it's going to be. I also picked up these two, Penguins, Spy in the Huddle, and Dolphins, Spy in the Pod. I've got all of the other Spy in the documentaries on Blu-ray and a few on DVD as well. These ones have been long out of print, and they are on the very exuberantly priced side of things. Whenever you see them on eBay or whatever, like $40, $50 to import them from the UK, and I've always thought there's no way I'm spending that much on these. So while I was over there, I was actually searching eBay and stuff to see if there were like local deals that I could import to myself while I was in the UK. Found these for about £4 or £5 each. So for the sake of like $8 each, I thought that is the right price for me finally. And I've finally got them in my collection, and I've completed my Spy in the documentary collection finally, which is awesome. This one is a new one that was released while I was over there, March of the Penguins 2. Really only picked this one up because I just kind of knew this wouldn't be released in Australia on Blu-ray, and I don't believe it has so far. I have the first one on Blu-ray. It's a fantastic documentary film. It's narrated by Morgan Freeman like the first one was, and this one was shot with like 4K cameras, and it's like a more updated version of the documentary. Unfortunately though, even though it was shot in 4K, it didn't release a 4K version, which is very unfortunate. And I also picked up a couple of BBC Earth titles. I picked this one up, Earth from Space, which is a really fantastic documentary. They filmed using satellite cameras, drones, and on-ground photography as well, all at the same time. So you've got this really fantastic width and breadth of coverage of all these world events, and it's really fantastic. I watched a couple of episodes of this while it was on TV. It's narrated by Chiwetel Ejiofor, and he does a really great narration on this, and I can't wait to watch the other couple of episodes of this too in my cinema room. I think it'll be absolutely fantastic. I believe it was shot in 4K, but they only released it on Blu-ray. But yeah, I picked up these two. These are the two more recent event series from BBC Earth. We've got Dynasties, which was the 2018 series, and then 7 Worlds, 1 Planet, which was the 2019 series. Brilliant series. This is like the best series I've seen from the BBC for years and years and years. It's up to par with Planet Earth, and this one here I didn't think was as good, but it was still great, up to BBC standards, you know. I didn't watch all of that. I only watched half it, so I've got to catch up on the rest of that, but this series is absolutely fantastic, and of course I had to pick both of those up in 4K. Next up, we have got a collection here of classic titles. We're going to skim through these really quickly because there's quite a few here to get to. I picked up a copy of The Wizard of Oz over there because I realized I didn't have a UK version of The Wizard of Oz. I didn't have a version of it with this cover. It's my favorite movie of all time, if you didn't know. And I just really wanted a UK version, and I thought this cover was really beautiful. This was only like £5, so I thought I can justify that and add another copy of Oz to my collection. Friday Foster, this is a soul cinema film starring Pam Grier. This isn't like the best of the soul cinema films, but it's up there. It's schlocky, it's over the top, and I really love these movies. They're a whole lot of fun. This is one that I've been putting off getting for a while. I got it for a decent price at HMV, so I picked that up while I could. I picked up Ramrod. This is the Soul Arrow title that I picked up while I was over in the UK. There's so many that I wanted, but at the time when I was over there, there, the Arrow releases were actually easy enough to import direct from Arrow here to Australia, and international shipping was only like £2. So I thought, I'm not going to buy too many Arrow titles over there because it's easy enough just to import them at home and save myself carrying back a whole lot of stuff when I really didn't need to. But unfortunately, recently Arrow have jacked up the price of international shipping to about £15. So it's like $30 for international shipping for me, and I can't justify that. So I think I'm going to have to find a new way to get my Arrow titles in Australia. I believe Zavvi actually carries Arrow titles, and they still do the same deals that the Arrow website does. So instead of ordering direct from Arrow, I'll order from Zavvi now, I think. I picked up 2 Criterion Collection editions over there, My Man Godfrey and The Awful Truth. I've watched this one. Cary Grant, absolutely fantastic. I love his older films. I love all of his films, but his older films particularly are very, very charming. And My Man Godfrey, I haven't checked out just yet. These were part of one of their like 2 for £20 deals, and I had a commission to use, and I bought them too. Creature from the Black Lagoon, Universal Monsters Legacy Edition. Now, I've been collecting all of these for the last few years, importing them from the US, but unfortunately, I did import this one from the US, but unfortunately, there was an issue with one of the discs on the US release. It wasn't mastered properly, really crappy quality. It was the 3D disc. They did run a replacement program, but because I wasn't an American citizen, even though I bought it rightfully, legally on Amazon, I wasn't apparently entitled to receive a disc from the replacement program. So I got a refund from Amazon, and I put it towards the UK set, which was released a few months later, and apparently has the fixed disc in there. Fingers crossed. A couple of other Judy Garland titles I picked up here, Meet Me in St. Louis and A Star Is Born. These two weren't released on Blu-ray in Australia, so I never managed to pick these up on Blu-ray. They were really cheap over there, about £5. I needed to get A Star Is Born to do the A Star Is Born ranking video that I did when the new version of that came out, and while I was there, I picked this one up as well. So I finally got them in my collection. I also picked up a couple of network titles. This is an independent distributor over in the UK I'd never heard of. They release a lot of really great stuff, and these only came to about £2 or £3 each, I think, during this sale they did back in 2018. I think it might have been Black Friday or might have been a bit earlier. The Man Who Knew Too Much, Alfred Hitchcock film, really, really great. The Man with the Golden Arm, starring Frank Sinatra. Richard III, this is, I believe, Laurence Olivier, Shakespeare, and Sabotage, another Alfred Hitchcock film which I watched and really, really enjoyed as well. So I picked them up from Network because they were, as I said, dirt cheap. I also picked up a number of titles from BFI, again, another independent distributor over there, British Film Institute. They release a lot of really great stuff. First, I picked up this box set, which is the Akira Kurosawa Samurai Collection. I had actually never watched any of his films, and I thought it was about time that I finally delve into them. I've been waiting to get them on Blu-ray. I had a really good deal on these at HMV, so I picked it up. I think it was like £25 or something, so it came to about 50 Australian dollars for what is 5 movies, and I watched all of these while I was over there, and man, they are amazing. And this is a really great box set. It's got all the movies in there. Most of his really classic samurai films. Unfortunately, strangely, Rashomon wasn't part of that collection, but it was released individually, so I picked that one up as well. After I'd perused through a few of these and realized I really love them, I had to get Rashomon as well. So I got them. I've got a couple of BFI ones here as well. La Belle et la Bête, which is the French, classic French version of Beauty and the Beast. This one I've wanted to see for a long time, but the Criterion Collection edition, they only released it in the US, and it was region locked, so I've never actually imported this one. I got How I Won the War. This one I actually bought for old mate Rick, because of course he's a huge Beatles, John Lennon fan. This is the only real movie that John Lennon acted in. I call it a real movie, but it's really, really stupid. Stupid comedy. So I had to pick this one up for old mate Rick for the Beatles collection, and one called The Children's Hour with Audrey Hepburn and Shirley MacLaine and James Gardner, which I haven't watched yet, but I've heard it's absolutely fantastic. So I can't wait to see that. As you know, I love Audrey Hepburn, so I had to add that one to the collection. And I also picked up a number of titles from the HMV Premium Collection. like I said, most of the stuff I was buying in the UK is stuff that I would either have difficulty importing to Australia or stuff that I just really would have no other way of importing or getting here in Australia. And of course, these ones are exclusive to HMV. And unless I got someone to send me them or I went to eBay and paid scalper prices, there was really no way I was going to be able to get these because HMV don't ship internationally. These were part of buy one, get one free or £15 each. So I paid £7.50 each for these, which I thought that was a really, really good deal. So let's take a look at what I got. I picked up Gettysburg. This is either the sequel or the prequel to Gods and Generals. We had Gods and Generals on Blu-ray and then they never released Gettysburg on Blu-ray in Australia. So I picked this one up. Normally I wouldn't need it in like a special edition collection, but this was the only way we could get it and we thought, well, it's cheap enough, we'll buy it and we'll add that to the collection. I got Mutiny on the Bounty, which stars Marlon Brando. Fantastic. I finally got around to watching this. This is one that I've always wanted to watch. I'm a big Brando fan and this movie is long-winded but actually really, really enjoyable. I loved it. Von Ryan's Express, a really great 60s war flick starring Frank Sinatra, kind of in the same vein as The Dirty Dozen. I had a lot of fun with this one. I picked up 2 Ray Harryhausen titles as part of the premium collection, The Valley of Gwangi or Gwangai and Clash of the Titans. Now, between these 2 and the 5 that were recently released here in Australia, I have every single one of Ray Harryhausen's major films on Blu-ray, except for one, which was Mysterious Island. That was released here in Australia on Blu-ray, and I kept putting it off, and it went out of print. Unfortunately, I cannot get my hands on that. Sanity said they had stock on their website. I ordered it, but unfortunately, it turned out they didn't have stock, so they cancelled the order. So if you know how I can get my hands on Mysterious Island on Blu-ray, I know I can get the Powerhouse version from the UK, but I really just want to stick with just standard editions. I don't really want to spend too much on the Powerhouse special editions, indicator releases. But if anyone knows how I can get my hands on the Australian edition of Mysterious Island, or you have a copy that you don't want and you can send to me, please let me know down in the comments below. I also picked up House of Wax 3D. This is a Vincent Price horror film from Warner Brothers, and it is in 3D, so I had to get this to the collection. I love these old classic horror films, and that extra element of 3D is going to be so schlocky that it's going to be just great. I'm going to love it. Picked up I Station Zebra, another great 60s, late 60s war film. Crappy action adventure movie, again probably in the same vein as The Dirty Dozen. Haven't seen it yet, but it looks great, but it looks so bad that it's gonna be good. That's what I'm trying to say. 7 Days in May. This is a film with a really great cast. Burt Lancaster, Kirk Douglas, Friedrich March, and I think a few other people as well are in this one. And it just looks really good. It looks like a really great Cold War era war suspense thriller movie, and I love those kind of things, so I'm really looking forward to this. And again, cast is fantastic. I picked up The Haunting, which is the original version of The Haunting of Hill House. A friend of mine recommended this movie to me, said it's really great. I'm not a huge horror fan, but I do like classic horror, and I said I would really, really love this, so I had to pick this one up. I'm going to check that out really soon and let him know what I thought of that. And one more was Bad Day at Black Rock, which stars Spencer Tracy and Robert Ryan. This is like a Western thriller action film that I'm really looking forward to seeing. And one more major release I picked up was the Marlene Dietrich and Joseph von Sternberg at Paramount 1930 to 1935 Blu-ray collection. You guys know I'm a huge fan of classic cinema, but for some reason I've actually never checked out a Marlene Dietrich film. For some reason it just completely slipped me. I've never got around to watching any of her films. She's apparently fantastic, like a bombshell of the time. This box set comes with 6 of her classic films: Morocco, Dishonored, Shanghai Express, Blonde Venus, Scarlet Empress, and The Devil is a Woman. So I'm really excited to dive into this. This is a really beautiful box set. I thought it was just the perfect excuse to finally get around to checking out some of the Dietrich films. And I think by the sounds of it, these are like her most classic movies. This was a fairly expensive box set, but it did go down in price. There was a decent deal on it. And again, I had a commission I used from you fantastic people out there. Thank you so much for buying stuff through my affiliate links, because it helps me buy something for myself every now and then to treat myself, and you guys helped me get the Marlene Dietrich collection, and I can't wait to dive into that. One more title here. It's not a big event title or anything. It's just a silly comedy that I saw on TV over there, and I had to pick up the series when it was released on DVD. Sick of It, starring Carl Pilkington. Really great. Carl Pilkington, I love the guy. He makes me laugh more than just about anyone else. Had to have this for my Carl Pilkington and Ricky Gervais DVD Blu-ray collection. I believe a second season has just started on TV over in the UK, so I can't wait to see that one. I'll pick that one up on DVD when it comes out. I think this has actually been released in Australia on DVD now, so I didn't have to pick it up over there. I got it in a cool slipcover, not a necessity, so I probably will just pick up the second season when it comes out on DVD here in Australia. One last thing to show you guys, my wonderful friend Alan, aka Kermit's Ghost, he's got a YouTube channel, does Blu-ray hunts and hauls every single week. If you want to check him out, go over and check him out, Kermit's Ghost. Wonderful, wonderful guy. He hates slipcovers. I love slipcovers, and there was a bunch of stuff he wanted to get rid of, and he just sent them over to me. Just really great stuff like this. He actually sent me over 100 slipcovers, but unfortunately my baggage allowance and my space in my baggage with all this other stuff that I was bringing home, unfortunately I just didn't have enough of either, so I had to leave quite a few of them back in the UK, which I will get my hands back on when I go back over there, probably later this year. So plenty of stuff here. I brought home the ones that I thought were absolute necessities that I really wanted to put back in my collection. There's a whole lot of other stuff. He sent me some Disney ones as well, which will be in the Disney Blu-ray update collection. But most of these ones, these are the ones that I just thought I needed these right now. I need them in my collection. I need to put them on. I know I have the movies. The other ones that he sent me, they were all really great slips, but were ones that I thought I can wait a while to have, or were movies that I didn't actually have in my collection. So thanks so much to Alan, Kermit's Ghost, for sending those over to me. And when I do get my hands on the other ones, I had the Disney ones with me. Like I said, they'll be in the Disney Blu-ray update video. But when I get my hands on the other ones, we'll put them in another Blu-ray update video as well. But for now, that is it. That is all the stuff that I picked up in the UK, Blu-ray, DVD, 4K wise. And between this and the other video that I uploaded a couple of days ago, which was the stuff old mate Rick picked up here in Australia, that's the huge Blu-ray haul of stuff. Other than the Disney Blu-ray update, which I'll be uploading somewhere over the next couple of weeks probably as well. But until then though, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you later. If this is your first time viewing one of my videos and you'd like to see more like it in the future, then please don't forget to hit that big old subscribe button up on your screen, as well as that like button down below for that little extra support. Also, don't forget to check me out on social media, and please consider supporting me over on Patreon. Thanks for watching, and have a fantastic day.